friends, welcome back to the homestead. It is Becky here at Acre Homestead. Today is March 6th and I get to plant out my kale and my cabbage and broccoli. Truth be told, I did just drop this seedling tray and half of the seedlings fell out of the tray. I do think I lost one cabbage. I'm going to see if I can resurrect him. I had to guess with putting them back into the seedling tray which one goes where. This is the Dollar Tree versus Baker Creek versus Territorial seeds in this tray, and may have put them not in the correct order. And I also am not planting out my cauliflower today, which is also in that seedling tray. I may have mixed that up too, so we may on accident plant out a cauliflower today, but if that happens, not a big deal. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and use this bed to fill today. I don't know if I have enough to fill the whole bed out. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't do the full math on it. So let's go ahead and get started. This bed had onions in it last year, and there's some onions, I guess, I don't know if that it's seed that never sprouted last year or they're onions that I didn't harvest. I don't know, but I've got some volunteer onion things. Like, look at this one, and you can see how weird this onion grew really long. I tried to direct seed onions, and I did it way too late last year, and so it didn't really work out. So that's why I'm not sure exactly what's going on in this bed. This kale is going to be in this bed all year. Kale here does really well all year, even in the summers. It does get warm here, but not crazy hot, so it tastes pretty good all year round. So the way the sun comes in the summer is that it comes up over here, and then it comes around and it sets over here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that I put my taller plants on this side because I don't want them shading out what I'm going to be planting on this end of the bed. So I've decided that I'm going to put my kale over here because they're going to be in here all year, and then I'll put my cabbage over here. My cabbage is going to be coming up in a few months. It's not going to be in the bed all summer, so I'm going to have time to plant another thing here. Probably I'm thinking carrots. Don't quote me on that, I don't know for sure. I'm not much of a planner when it comes to my garden. I don't know if you've noticed, but I kind of just get out here and feel it. Last year was a huge learning curve for me, just even watching where the sun is. Because of these trees, I have to be very mindful of where I plant things because those trees do cast quite a bit of shadow on these two beds, and then that shed casts quite a bit of afternoon shadow on those two beds. So that is why I'm going to do my kale here, because I know that it's going to hang out all summer and I'm happy with it there all summer long. And then I'll do my cabbage and broccoli, and then if there's more space at the end, we will put the cauliflower down there because those are all going to be coming up. And kale in the ground. I really wanted to get them in the ground because they're showing some signs of stress. This is only my kind of second time. Last year I did attempt to start seedlings inside, but I didn't have grow lights and it was a complete fail. And so this year they're actually growing, and some are doing a lot better than others, but these are yellowing. I've been fertilizing them once a week, watering them. There's algae growing on the inside of them, and I think it's just time to get them in the ground. So we are going to go ahead and do that. This might seem like a lot of kale. I go through a ton of kale. I preserve it two ways. I dehydrate a bunch of it. It doesn't really taste like anything, so I just add dehydrated kale to almost any recipe. I also freeze it, and I'll put that in like pastas or soups if I want more of like a kale flavor. And I'll add that to smoothies too. And so that is why I am planting more kale this year. I think last year I had 6 plants, and this year I'm going to have quite a few more. Oh, and my chickens love kale. That's another reason why I wanted to plant a lot of kale as extra feed for my chickens. When it's winter, I let them free range in the garden, but now that I've started planting stuff out in the garden, they're not allowed to free range unless I am out here observing them the entire time. So usually if that happens, it's at dusk. I'll let them run around for 30 minutes, and I'll sit out here and watch them. I want to have enough kale that when they're in their coop over there, I have fresh greens for them to eat all summer long, because they're not going to be scratching around my whole property. I'm going to be planting this kale, cabbage, and broccoli the square foot method way, which means I get to put one kale plant, cabbage plant, and broccoli plant per square foot. This is a 16 by 24 bed, so I can put 64 plants in this bed. I don't think I have that many today to plant, which is totally fine. Today I think I'm actually going to start indoors a few more broccoli plants. So I just went inside and made a template for me so that I was gonna try to eyeball this, but I think I want it to be a little bit more organized than that. So I just made a 12-inch by 12-inch cutout on this box, put a hole in the middle, and we're gonna get to planting. I did decide to leave this onion plant, that onion plant, and that one just to see what it does. If it goes to seed, cool, that would be a fun experiment. If it just hangs out there and doesn't really do anything, then it doesn't do anything. So the first variety of kale that I'm going to be planting is the 1,000 head kale. This is that walking stick kale I got from Baker Creek. This next variety is scarlet kale, and it is so beautiful. This one actually doesn't look like it's as stressed as some of the other ones. I did forget to order, for some reason I thought I had the dinosaur kale seeds, but I guess I didn't, and so I didn't plant any of those. I may order them, or I may just pick up some starts, because I do love that type of kale as well. But we'll see. I probably have plenty of kale. I probably overkilled it. I'm also accounting for slug damage. I really struggle with slugs, and so if some of these get eaten by slugs, then I'll still have enough. The next variety is Red Russian, and this one actually looks really good. I'm pretty impressed with the way this one is looking. I already pulled one out and planted it. This kale plant is a premier kale plant that I planted the same day that I planted the other ones, but this one I up potted because it actually ended up in my celery. The seed got mixed up, and I think that's why those plants are stressed, because this one you can see how much more soil there is and the roots have already kind of taken it over. So I think I should have up potted those kale plants as well. I just never did. So hopefully they bounce back, but this one's looking beautiful. So next I'm going to plant the Baker Creek Golden Acres cabbage, the Dollar Tree Golden Acres cabbage, the Territorial Seeds broccoli, and the Dollar Tree broccoli. Oh, when I dropped this, I think I did lose a cauliflower. Oh well. These a light watering, mostly the broccoli and cabbage, because that seedling tray was a lot drier than the kale one. I have 24 kale plants in the ground now, 16 cabbages, and 8 broccoli. So I definitely am going to be starting some more broccoli seeds because that's not very many. Last year I tried to do a fall planting of broccoli rabe and it just was a complete flop. So this is my first year trying to grow head broccoli. So we'll see how it goes. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so I'm just giving them a light watering, and like I said, mostly just giving these a light watering because we will be getting some rain. I'm pretty happy with what I got accomplished here today. I'm super excited to start seeing some green pop up around here and to see some blue skies. Well, kind of what blue skies look like for us. Some clouds intermixed in there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'd love to start a conversation with you. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.